Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Swampy Comics. I'm Swampy, and today is going to be a bit of a late addition to our weekly tier list for this week's new releases. I got a little sick the past couple of days, but better late than never. So I'm feeling much better, so let's knock this out. First book up we have is Absolute Green Lantern number 9, written by Al Ewing, art on this issue by Sid Kotian, colors by Prasad Rao, and letters by Lucas Gattoni. I really like this issue. We're currently dealing with a glowing green Joe Mullane showing up with an unconscious Hal Jordan to her ex wife's house, her ex Cameron Chase's house, who works for the DEO in the Absolute Universe. And yeah, it looks like there are a few people after her. We have the DEO after Joe, along with Hector Hammond. Um, you know, there seems to be some mixed elements of people working within the DEO for Hector Hammond's benefit. So, who's going to get to Joe first? Is Cameron going to be able to protect her? Who knows? And when's Hal going to wake up, and what's his role going to be in all this? This wasn't too big of an issue. We're kind of setting up our next story arc, I feel like. Going over a lot of the stuff that Joe went through earlier on in the series, but also introducing this guy Nemesis, who turns out to be the full spoilers for this entire list. Um, but this guy Nemesis, who turns out to be the classic Green Lantern villain Goldface in the Absolute Universe, who yeah, great last page reveal with him disguising himself as John Stewart and showing up to Cameron Chase's house and shooting Joe with a golden bullet. Um, yeah, I really think his character is weird. At first, I thought it was like a take on Sergeant Steele or something like that, but I know Nemesis is like a guy from, but he looked like Sergeant Steele, right? Um, but anyway, yeah, not a whole ton going on in this issue, but nonetheless, this series, in my opinion, remains strong, and I really like what we're getting here. I did have an epiphany about a couple of the Absolute titles, Green Lantern and Absolute Flash specifically, and how a lot of people view them as the weakest, where I feel like they're just getting stronger and stronger. I realized those are the two properties that I haven't heard this really said much, but those are the two properties that are getting adapted into the Absolute Universe that are going to have to do the most to dismantle all the external lore that comes along with it. I mean, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are so simple. Absolute Martian Manhunter, it's easy to take that and just write a clean slate with it. But people are precious about their Flash, and people are very precious about their Green Lantern. So, in order to dismantle these mythos and retell them, I think, yeah, that it's going to be a little bit of a slow burn at some points early on. And that's okay. like, it's very apparent that this series and Absolute Flash are just getting better and better with every issue. So it's just weird to me that I keep seeing that sentiment when I'm just kind of like, are y'all even reading? Like, are you paying attention? Because this is getting really good. Yeah, so I am gonna throw it in B tier because they're no, I'm gonna throw it in A tier. I loved that whole John twist, and I really like the intrigue that's being built up with Simon probably wanting to help Cameron on the side, but she hasn't been able to reach out to him in time before he's spilling the beans on all the stuff that he knows that he probably shouldn't be spilling the beans about. Yeah, I found that really fascinating. I like all our characters, and I can't wait until Hal wakes up. So yeah, we'll go A tier with this one. I really liked it. I did. It wasn't an issue with a lot of big moments, but um, I really liked it. It was strong. Next up, we got Batman number 4. This is written by Matt Fraction with art and letters by Jorge Jimenez, as well as letters by Clayton Cowles, with colors by Tamao Mori. In this issue, we get the full on introduction of a brand new 7-fingered Batman villain, um, the Minotaur. And it seems he's working along the side of the Calculator, this older Batman villain that was kind of dealing with the organizing of organized crime at the top level. and it seems like the Minotaur is even above him. I mean, this guy clearly wields a lot of power since he's able to just keep the crime families in line through a straight murderous brutality. Um, and we have absolute. We're not in the absolute universe. This is just an anarchy. Why would I even say absolute anarchy? Anyway, we have anarchy. Kind of shown here. I guess he's not a totally new character. He's just one that I'm not familiar with because the whole Batman extended mythos isn't one that I'm super familiar with. But I like the take on a street punk that seemed very, very Gotham. I don't know. There was just something about his character design and everything, and a really cool page where he's jumping out a window and Batman's grabbing him. That I don't know. I'm really excited to see more from Anarchy. I really like to see that Vandal Savage also has his fingers in whatever's going on with the Minotaur. Yeah, these issues are serving, you know, great as little one-off stories, but it's clear we're building to something bigger here. We're building quite the infrastructure for I think is what is going to be a very epic era of Batman. I mean, it's just killing it so far. What else did we have in this issue? Oh, I really liked the Bruce meeting up with Annika Zeller and her not realizing that she was talking to him and just trying to be dismissive of this person that's bothering her. And yeah, it's cool to see Bruce in Batman mode, and it's cool to see Bruce in just semi douchebag billionaire Bruce mode. I kind of love it. So yeah, all in all, I really like this issue. A lot of fun to be had here. Another A right off the bat. I mean, I'm just gonna say ahead of time, this week was really good. I don't think we're gonna see anything below a B this year, or this week. So pardon the glazing, but we're gonna move on to another Batman title, DCKO Knightfight #2. This is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Dan Mora, colors by Triona Farrell, and letters by Tom Napolitano. In this issue, we have Bruce kind of coming to a real head to his fight with this alternate universe version of Dick Grayson, as the Heart of Apocalypse is putting Bruce through these trials for daring to cheat in the tournament or try to escape it by unfair means. Yeah, let's see. I liked this. This was pretty cool. This unlike the next issue that we're going to talk about, that's also DCKO related. Um, I do admire that this one, although I'm buying all the tie-ins and everything, I do admire the fact that this kind of just sits out as its own thing and its own little weird, almost Elseworlds Batman story. Yeah, a lot of fun to be had here. We have Batman finally coming to grips with, okay, I got to be completely brutal here and dismantle my favorite protege, not only mentally but physically as well. And just as he's about to land the killing blow, he gets boom tubed away, so to speak, and he ends up in a jail cell. And this time he's in an alternate universe where he's been captured into Arkham Asylum by none other than good old Jason Todd, the Red Hood. Now that he is Batman, and he's in this crazy version of Gotham where he's the only one that pretty much lives there, except for other crazed people that have been taken over by this Joker toxin, because Joker has completely won in this version of things, and there's a dome over Gotham to keep everybody out and keep Jason Todd in, making sure nothing gets out or in. Yeah, this was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Um, but yeah. Let's see. I mean, the Dan Mora art was awesome. It's just fun fight stuff. I maybe wish there was a little more fight and a little less talk, but that's okay. We're getting 5 issues of Batman fighting stuff where pretty much everybody else is just getting the, fight month issues. So, yeah, but all in all, I really enjoyed this. But nothing too crazy to write home about. We're gonna throw that in a B tier, big solid B plus. B is good here. C is good here. Like I'll just say that too. It just is. You know, it's just more of how much I felt impressed reading it on the first go. But next book we got is another DCKO tie-in. Like I said before, DCKO Superman versus Captain Atom #1. A one shot by Joshua Williamson with art by Sean Izaakse, colors by Trish Mulvihill and Hi-Fi, and letters by Dave Sharp. And yeah, like what I was saying about earlier, how like you could just the Batman thing can exist totally outside of KO. This couldn't really. This is just pure popcorn dessert comic book fun. There wasn't a moment in this where I was bored or felt like I was being let down. This was so cool. And I really like my my literature comics. I mean, I got Swamp Thing Winter Special right there. Um, you know, a shelf full of a bunch of Alan Moore and controversy noted with the author, but all the absolute Sandman and stuff. I really like my literature style comics and stuff like that. But I also like this. I also like Superman and Captain Atom fighting and having a round 2 where they get to choose to be alternate versions of themselves that are just super overpowered, and then they go off with that. And I mean, and DC has been going nuts with the meta stuff and screwing with frames and all the weird reality breaking characters that have popped up lately, and they're doing that again here. And Monarch Captain Atom ends up throwing a panel with his origin at Superman. So then Superman ends up becoming a Captain Atom and winning the whole 3-round fight. I mean, come on. This was so badass. I loved every moment of this. It was so absurd in the best ways, and it was great. S tier. Yep. Like, that's what I'm doing with this. I had so much fun. This was like riding a ride at an amusement park. It was just awesome. Awesome. Ugh. Anyway, next up, another title that starts with the letter D. Doctor Strange #1. This is written by Derek Landy, art by Ivan Fiorelli, colors by Dono Sanchez Elmara, and letters by Corey Pettit. Any watchers that watched the preview video earlier this week are maybe wondering, why is this one on here? And is Fantastic Four going to be next? Well, I totally spaced on buying Fantastic Four and picked this up on a whim. So luckily I had something to replace it with. But then I got sick, so I haven't been back to the store to grab Fantastic Four. I definitely will at some point. I really enjoy that series, so it's going to get an honorable mention for you should pick up that book this week. I'm sure it's great. You know, 5 previous issues saying that it will be great. So, yeah, Ryan North, I'm sure, did not let things down. But we're not here to talk about the Fantastic Four. We're here to talk about Doctor Strange. Yeah. So this kind of picks up after, One World Under Doom or whatever. Because Doctor Strange of Asgard had a One World Under Doom tie-in. I didn't read it. I'm not sure how it went exactly. But I do really like Doctor Strange. So, and I really like the spacey Asgard Kirby influenced side of Marvel. So him kind of being the sorcerer supreme for that realm of Asgard is totally cool in my book. I love it. I'm sure he'll be back on Earth picking up his previous duties at some point. But for right now, we got freaking Doctor Strange palling around the 9 realms with Angela from freaking Spawn. Like, this is so cool. Yeah. This was just fun. I really enjoyed this. The only real big moment in this book was the cliffhanger, But I do kind of like the characterization of Stephen Strange being brought by Sif to be like, now you got to do your duties here, dude. You made a deal. You can't just try to leave over and over again. And he's just kind of he has to reluctantly do his job here. And I don't know, he seems to have no problem getting right into it because the last page reveal, it seems like he's taken on some Mephisto powers or something. And I thought that was very cool. Yeah, this is going to be another solid B tier book. I mean, and I mean B plus here with both of these B tiers right here. I had a lot of fun with it. It was just fun adventures in space, and I can't wait to see Steven hop around and um, cause some more chaos, but bring some more order to the Nine Realms, hopefully. Yeah, this ruled. This ruled. Glad I picked it up. Glad I picked it up. Next up, we got G.I. Joe number 15. This is the Dreadnought War Part 3 of 5. Yet another book by Joshua Williamson with art by Tom Riley, colors by Jordi Belair, and letters by Russ Wooten. So what do we have? 3 Josh Williamson books this week. We got Knightfight, Superman, Captain Atom, and G.I. Joe. Busy bee. Anyway, let's see. Dreadnought War, Part 3 of 5. We have Cobra Commander and Duke captured by Road Pig. And they try to fight him off, and that's not successful at all. They're completely captured. Then Road Pig is set upon by the Dreadnoks, where he has a fight with Ripper and Buzzer. But then they quickly realize, hey, we're all pretty badass, right? Let's be friends. And looks like Road Pig is a Dreadnought, an honorary Dreadnought for at least now. And the rest of the Dreadnoks descend on this compound where Cobra Commander and Duke are being held hostage. Yeah, we definitely see some nastiness in silhouette, kind of, with Cobra Commander getting his helmet removed while he's captured, so that's pretty cool. I like to see that. And I mean, it seems like they're pretty screwed here. You're left wondering, how are they going to get out of this? Oh, and not only that, what did we have? Destro coming to the government, being like, "Hey, it's a new day for Cobra. Like, buy weapons from us. It'll be totally cool." Like, come on, whoever's fallen for that, give me a break. But man, I really liked the last page where it's clear that our our hero Duke and our anti-hero villain who you gotta love, Cobra Commander, are going to be getting some help soon, in the form of Clutch, CoverGirl, and we'll see who else. Yeah, the Dreadnought War rocks. I really like this. This was my favorite issue of this little story arc so far, so I'm throwing this at A tier. A tier. Let's see. JSA number 14 is our next book. This is written by Jeff Lemire with art by Gavin Goodry, colors by Luis Guerrero, and letters by Steve Wands. We have chapter 2 of our year 1 story arc with JSA, and lots of threads going on here, but they're all relatively easy to follow. Man, we got a lot going on here. We got Green Lantern meeting up with why do I want to call him Jay Corrigan? Oh my gosh. Um, the Spectre, Jim Corrigan. Goodness gracious. But yeah, we have Green Lantern meeting up with Detective Jim Corrigan as they're investigating this subway structure and finding out that it's been built faulty on purpose. We have Hawkman and Hawkgirl out in the jungle, coming upon Satana and Sportsmaster as they are raiding temples and doing crimes of their own that I'm sure are going to wrap into everything that's going on. That's what I'm so excited for this to get fleshed out. Then we have Flash meeting up with Green Lantern later in the issue. We have Adam kind of watching over this group of neo-Nazis, or I guess they're not neo-Nazis. This is in the 30s, right? So this group of American Nazis that are called the Fifth Columnists, and he's kind of spying on what they're doing. And we have the introduction of Hippolyta in a really, really cool sequence. I loved seeing the banter between her and Adam, and their size difference was great. I love the way that Hippolyta is drawn. She has that just that Amazonian like heft to her, and that picture of her jumping off the struts was so awesome, where she's all upside down. I loved it. Then we have Sandman and Hourman in some strange chemical facility, beset upon by cyclotron. And then at the end, we have some talking from Dr. Fate as he's hanging out with Dr. Occult and Blue Beetle and John Zatara and Madame Xanadu as they're monitoring the impending emerging of the Spectre, and kind of sitting with bated breath to wondering whether or not this is going to be a good or a bad thing. I mean, we kind of know how this story goes, but it's still cool to see the tension. Um, I'm a huge mark for the Spectre, so I mean, this rules. This is still great fun. God, yeah, yeah. I'm probably gonna start going back, and like the trades aren't good enough. I want to own the floppies of this whole JSA run. Like I'm really into these characters, and the more I learn about them, the more I want to read the older stuff. And yeah, something about this old timey style is just really clicking with me, and I really liked this. I'm gonna throw that in S tier. I really liked this. Um, Speaking of really liked a book, Star Trek Redshirts #5 is our final book this week. This is written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Megan Levins, colors by Charlie Kirchhoff, and letters by Jody Troutman. And here we have the finale of this phenomenal mini series. Oh boy, you know, we have the Klingons meeting up with the Romulans and their Vulcan spy, or the spy that's working with them, who's a Vulcan. Um, and our two last red shirts, our Starfleet companions here, in the middle of it at the end. And yeah, fascinating. Just mwah, chef's kiss. I really just this mini series rules. It's this is one of those series I'm bummed I just don't see people really talking about at all, because it's fantastic. I think it's just, with the concept that it had and what it was trying to do, it just nailed it on every single front. And I don't want to spoil the the ending here, so I'm not going to, because I want people to read this, and it's the last book on here. So yeah, we're gonna leave that with a spoiler cliffhanger. You're gonna have to just just go read this if you're even remotely interested in Star Trek. I promise it doesn't get too deep in the weeds. This is just a great sci-fi spy story, with an amazing ending that I did not see coming, and yeah, has me hoping that we'll see more from this team and these characters in this era of Star Trek. What a way to end a mini series. I'm throwing that in S tier. And now time to do our book of the week. I mean, 3 S tier books. That's great. That's great. But I really got to give my flowers to Superman versus Captain Atom. It just had that little extra edge of making me feel like a preteen reading the most badass thing I've ever seen. Like the first Image comic or something like that. Like the first time I picked up a Spawn and was just like, ho 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 ho, ho turn the page, oh ho, ho, ho. Like that's how this book made me feel. I really thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm super jealous of the generation that gets to read this DCKO and this All In era as the stuff they're going to come up on. Really jealous of that generation. What fun. What fun DCKO is. Holy crap. But anyway, yeah, that's the tier list for this week. Appreciate you watching. Give a like and a subscribe. That really helps. I really like to see that people are enjoying what I'm putting out there, and leave a comment below. I've been seeing some pretty cool comments lately, looking at you, Gavin, and really appreciate the feedback and the subscriptions. And yeah, even if I just get one comment on a video, and y'all have made my week. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch up with you soon with our preview video for next week. But until then, y'all stay safe out there and keep reading. Bye bye.